Welcome back to another episode of Sound Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Letters from Iwo Jima. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. The story of the Battle of Iwo Jima between the United States and Imperial Japan during World War II, as told from the perspective of the Japanese who fought it. Let's begin with my first pro. We have Clint Eastwood as the director, and he is also the producer alongside with Steven Spielberg. Also, Kyle Eastwood, the son of Clint Eastwood, worked on the music for this movie. This leads us to the cast. So first we have Ken Watanabe, which many of you will know from such movies such as The Last Samurai, Inception, and others. And due to him being the lead in this movie, many young Japanese actors wanted a role in this movie so they can act alongside him. So this led to casting other actors such as Kasunari Ninomiya. He's a member of the boy band Arashi. We also have Ryu Kase, we have Hiroshi Watanabe, and others. This led them to get other roles in later movies for which they might be known better to some fans of anime live action movies. Next pro is the historical significance of this war for both sides. Many of the young actors had never heard information from this battle of Iwo Jima, since it's really not taught that much in Japanese schools, so this was the first time them reading some of the real letters that were found after the battle. Even Ken Watanabe, to get into character, he read some of the letters from his character General Kuribayashi that he sent home, and he also visited the general's birthplace and his symbolical gravesite. Since his body was never recovered or identified after the battle, Ken Watanabe said that this gave him a better understanding of the man and also the general, Kuribayashi. This war is known for its heavy toll on both sides and the Japanese endurance that kept them fighting, thanks to General Kuribayashi's strategy of how to fortify the island. Thanks to the leadership of the general, he prolonged the Japanese defeat. When it was estimated the US would take over the island in about 5 days, he actually stretched it to 36 days. And for the US, this was one of the battles that they won, but the death toll outnumbered the enemy's death toll. Next is a small fact that this movie was actually filmed in 32 days, almost as long as the actual battle, which was 36 days. Next pro is the color palette they used for the film. They used dull colors for the film. At the beginning, we do see some signs of colors such as reds and yellows that were hidden in small details such as the general's uniform and other settings, but not bright enough to overtake the scenes. And when the battle begins, they begin to fade out until we are only left with a two-tone film. I felt as they were going for grayscale colors, they did make the uniforms this way, I believe, to show that the island's black sand was slowly taking over as the battle kept going. Also, it is a fact that over time the black sand and the ash from the fires that were used with the flamethrowers to clear obstacles for soldiers would have caused it to rain down ash with the rainwater, and this would definitely have caused the clothes to turn a tone dark color. But also there are a few scenes, such as when the Japanese soldiers are committing suicide by holding grenades, that the color red pops out. When one of the soldiers' hand is seen lying next to his family's pictures and blood all around it with the red actually popping out, it makes this scene really stand out, like telling us to pay attention. Also, the idea they kept referring back to the water not sitting well with soldiers, it drives the fact that some soldiers did die from dysentery even before the battle had begun. Now moving on to my cons. The film starts with historians excavating the caves and coming upon the buried letters, which then transitions to Saigo's letter to his wife with him reading it, and we hear the monologue. I wanted at the end of the movie, since Saigo is the one that's left alive after burying the general, for him to close the film looking into the distance and saying something along the lines of, "Hanako, I'm coming home, but my soul is going to stay here." This would have shown him reflecting on what the battle has actually taken from him, not physically but emotionally. Next point is the CG. Most of the CG was fine, but there was this part as the American soldiers landed on the beach and the boats are going back. That shot really seemed like it was a CG from a low budget movie. Maybe they got a little bit too ambitious with the wide shot trying to show the big number of boats coming in and going. I know that they could have done better CG, not just because of other scenes that were really well done, but the idea that this shot was one of the important shots in the movie that established the battle and commands the whole momentum of the film. They should have basically spent a little more time, instead of a wide shot, maybe shows the inside of the boats or the ships, or how the soldiers' point of view was of the island. Last con is that the real battle was 36 days long, but in the film, once the battle began, we aren't giving any time reference. Maybe some lines such as "we are out of food and water" and someone mentioning the passing of time, but nothing else. It would have been better if they had some reference to time, maybe on the beginning of each scene. The day would be numbered as day 5, day 12, day 36, not to make the film historically accurate, so that the audience would know that it was a long battle with no resources for the Japanese and they still fought fought till the end. So my grade for this movie is going to be a solid 7 out of 10. It really shined light on the battle that many still hold as one of the bloodiest battles, in which both sides' death tolls are high, and especially for the US, since they showed that they did not have enough intel of the island or learned anything from the previous battles with the Japanese over key islands. I really enjoyed the fact that it was not in English, it was actually in Japanese, since the script was first written in English, then translated to Japanese to be from the perspective of the Japanese soldiers. So that does it for this review of Letters from Iwo Jima. Please join us next time where we are going to review What's Eating Gilbert, Grape.
Gilbert, you're my knight in shimmering armor. Did you know that?
I think you mean shining.
No, shimmer. You shimmer and you glow.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.